Hi, this is a discussion of the learning objective number 4 for Chapter 8, create adjustment messages that salvage customers' trust and promote further business. So adjustment messages. Okay, so it starts off with saying the best run and best loved businesses occasionally receive claims or complaints from consumers. When a company receives a claim and decides to respond favorably, the message is considered an adjustment. Okay. Most businesses make adjustments promptly, replace merchandise, refund money, extend discounts, send coupons, repair goods. Okay. Social media has shortened the response time to mere hours, not days. All right. So businesses make favorable adjustments to legitimate claims for 2 reasons. First, okay, consumers are protected by contractual and tort law for recovery of damages. For example, if you find an insect in a package of frozen peas, food processor of that package is bound by contractual law to replace it. Okay, so the person that packaged it, made the food, froze the stuff, is bound to replace your peas. If you suffer injury, the processor may be liable for damages to where they have to pay like your medical bills or something. Second, and more obviously, most organizations generally want to satisfy their customers and retain their business. So in responding to customer claims, you must decide whether to grant the claim. If the claim is obviously fraudulent or excessive, unless the claim is obviously fraudulent or excessive, you'll probably grant it. When you say yes, your adjustment message would be good news. Deliver the good news by the appropriate strategy, by the appropriate direct strategy. When your response is no, indirect strategy might be appropriate. Okay, so the definition of when you would use direct strategy is here. So if it's good news, you use direct strategy. If the response is no, you're going to use the indirect strategy. Chapter 9, which is our next chapter, discusses the indirect strategy for giving negative news. You should have 3 goals and adjustment messages: rectify the wrong, if there is one, regain the confidence of your customer, and promote further business. Revealing good news up front in an adjustment message, instead of beginning with a review of what went wrong, you don't want to harp on what went wrong, present the good news in an adjustment message immediately. When Kathy Nagian responded to the claim letter from customer Ultima Electronics about a missing shipment, her first draft, shown at the top of 8.9, was angry. Okay, we're going to look at that. Ultima Electronics apparently had provided the wrong shipping address and the goods were returned. Once Kathy and her company, we'll come back to this in a minute, decided to send a second shipment and comply with the customer's complaint, she had to give up her anger. Her goal was to regain the goodwill in the business of this customer. The improved version of her letter announces that a new shipment will arrive shortly. Okay, so let's look at her letter first. So this is the first one. That's why it's draft. I have before me your recent complaint about a missing shipment. First, let me say that it's very difficult to deliver merchandise when we've been given the wrong address. Okay, so yeah, but that is not exactly the most customer-friendly opening. After receiving your complaint, our investigators looked into your problem shipment and determined they were sent immediately after you received the order. Shipper's record said it was delivered to the warehouse address given on your stationery. Unfortunately, no one at that address would accept delivery, so the shipment was returned to us. I can see from your current stationery that your company has a new address. With the proper address, we probably could have delivered this shipment. Okay? The company wants to charge them shipping and restocking fees, but they are going to waive it, and they hope the second shipment finally catches up with you at your current address. That's a little snippy. Okay, so let's look. Okay, so first, this is just her rough draft. So here's the date. There's the inside address, who's addressed to the subject. Announces good news immediately. You should receive by April 26th a second shipment of the Blu-ray players, video game consoles, and other digital equipment that you ordered April 2nd. First shipment was ordered here. The order was sent to the wrong place. It was undeliverable. You can be sure that I will investigate shipping and return procedures with our clerks immediately to see if we can improve existing methods. Now, it wasn't her clerk's problem, but she's trying to take away the blame from the customer. Your respect is important to us. Although our rock bottom discount prices have enabled us to build a volume business, we don't want to be so large that we lose track with valued customers. Okay, so that's how she's reacting to that one. This second letter is much better a feel-good letter than her draft. Okay. Brandon Stratton's photo project Humans of New York has gone viral, earned rave reviews in the Wall Street Journal and the Atlantic. But when the fashion apparel label DKNY featured the photos in an in-store display without obtaining permission or offering compensation, Stratton's 500,000 Facebook followers protested through social media and on the Fashion Apparel's Facebook site. Within hours, DKNY responded online saying, "We deeply regret this mistake. Accordingly, we were making a charitable donation of $25,000 to the YMCA in Bedford-Stuyvesant, whatever, Brooklyn, in Mr. Stratton's name." Okay. How do businesses generally handle consumer complaints? All right, so clearly they were in the wrong. There's all kinds of proof that they were in the wrong. And so they were hoping to make everybody happy with the donation. And they probably were generally happy to do that. There's a letter. Okay. If you decide to comply with the customer's claim, let the receiver know immediately. Don't begin your letter with a negative statement. Okay, so you're going to complain with the customer's complaint. So you're the company. You don't want to harp on something. "We're very sorry to hear that you're having trouble with your dishwasher." Not exactly. It's agreeing with them, but it's a negative statement. This approach reminds the reader of the problem and may rekindle heated emotions or unhappy feelings. Instead, focus on the good news. So, such as, "You're right. We agree that the warranty on your American Standard Model UC600 dishwasher should be extended for 6 months. You will be receiving shortly a new slim Nokia smartphone to replace the one that shattered when dropped. Please take your portable Admiral microwave oven to this appliance company where it's going to be repaired at no cost. An enclosed check for $325 demonstrates our desire to satisfy our customers." So you don't need to start it with negative, but hey, you're right. Guess what's happened? You win. We're going to take care of it for you. Avoid half-hearted or reluctant responses, such as, "Although the American Standard dishwasher works properly, we have decided to allow you to take yours to A1 Appliance Service for repair." So they're not saying that they're at fault, but they're going to they're going to pay for it. So explaining compliance in the body of an adjustment message. In the body of the message, explain how you're complying with the claim. You should seek to regain the confidence of your customer. You might reasonably expect that a customer who has experienced difficulty with a product, delivery, or billing, or with service has lost faith. Most of us would. And rebuilding that faith is important for future business. Also, the thing is that if a business is trying to build its reputation or maintain its reputation, whenever a business or a restaurant or that type of place does anything good, maybe one person is told. If they mess up for some reason, that angry person goes out and tells 10 others. Okay? The happy person rarely says anything. Angry people would tell 10 others, and that 10 others would tell 10 others, and then you have some trouble. So, how to rebuild lost confidence depends on the situation and the claim. If procedures need to be revised, explain what changes will be made. If a product has defective parts, tell how the product's going to be improved. If service is faulty, describe genuine efforts to improve it. And we're going to look at figure 8.9. Now, notice that in figure 8.9, the writer promises to investigate shipping procedures. Okay, sometimes the problem is not with the product, but with the way it's being used. Remember, rational and sincere explanations will do much to regain the confidence. In your explanation, avoid emphasizing negative words such as trouble, regret, misunderstanding, fault, defective, error, inconvenience, and unfortunately. Keep your message positive and upbeat. Whether or not to apologize is debatable. Attorneys generally discourage apologies, fearing that they admit responsibility and will trigger lawsuits. However, both judges and juries tend to look on apologies favorably. More than 20 U.S. states have passed some form of an apology law that allows. This statement will be used as a basis for liability in court.